Hello, my name is Brent Hunt here, and my channel is Discerning What is True. This is chapter 10, Phil Langdon's book tonight. As I continue to read chapter by chapter here of this particular book of his, this is probably his second longest book. His book on Ascension is very long. This is the title of it and the cover of it. And the chapter is chapter 10, The Angel and the Little Scroll. And it's critical for you to understand here is the numbers. Phil Langdon has given me, as we've taught, the first 7 chapters is what we call the first act. The second act is basically from chapter 8 to chapter next 7 would be, 15, I think it is. And the final is the final act would be chapter 16 through, I think, 22. So all those add up to be 7, I think it is. Maybe 1 being 8, the last one. The particular book he shows, this particular chapter, the particular chapter he's showing is the Wheel of Fortune card here. This particular chapter. And this is called The Angel and the Little Scroll. So I hope that this will be to those who have a desire for truth. May you seek after it. In Fortune Wheels, the 10th card of the tarot is the dealing out of fate, good or bad, depending on how we look at it. Losing a job may be a blessing in disguise. Gaining a fortune may be the greatest burden we have faced. Looking for a silver lining or the truth behind a situation is in the eyes of the beholder and how clearly they can see through the duality haze of good and evil. The 10th Hebrew letter is Yod, Y-O-D, meaning the number 10. The letter for God as creator, and the number of Sephirot in the tree of life. The meaning of Yod is Yed, a Jew. The Yud can also represent a Yad, Y-A-D, that is a hand, which is allusion to God. How do we differentiate between the Yud, Y-U-D, that represents God, and the Yud that alludes to man? The name of God is composed of 2 consecutive Yuds, Y-U-D-S, one immediately adjacent to the other. The 2 Yuds constitute a vital force in 2 of God's names. The first name of God is the tetragrammaton that is spelled Yud, He, Vod, He, which represents God as He is beyond nature. The second name of God is Ananiah. It signifies how God, the master of the universe, manifests himself in nature. The Yud at the beginning of the tetragrammaton and the Yud at the end of Ananiah comes together, a Yud followed by another Yud, to represent a fusion of the 2 expressions of godliness. The fusion is an affirmation of the fact that while we live in a physical world of natural order, God is truly the one and only spirit behind the Alpha and Omega. Now we're going to be reading from the book of Revelations, chapter 10. His first what we're going to call basically this first paragraph here says, in sequence, the 10th chapter focuses on the Son of God as we stand in the precipitates of activating the 7th chakra with the Archangel Michael. Quote, verse 1. Then I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven. He was robed in a cloud with a rainbow above his head. His face was like the sun, and his legs were like fiery pillars. Yet another mighty angel is the Son of God from heaven, robed in a cloud with a rainbow of angels above his head, symbolically speaking as the 7 colors of the rainbow. His face shines bright as the solar body, and his legs are also his 2 arms. There are only 2 beams that protrude from the cloud's front. Remember, this is from Phil Langdon's experience that he took place in Cambodia. Let's see, I kind of forgot where I was at here. However, if we consider the cloud portrayed in a variety of orientations, We can think of the two beams as his legs, resting in the footstool of the cosmic egg. Horizontally, that is. Vertically, however, the Son of God walks on the water of the abyss. His beams are also the sunbeams, or fiery poles, or pillars, that is. We can choose a variety of associations that refer to the same form. And he shows a picture of this in his book. Again. So verse 2. He was holding a little scroll which lay open in his hand. He planted his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land. And he gave a loud shout like the roar of a lion. The Son of God, that is solar logos, that is nous, holds the scroll, the illuminate. Open in his right hand is the seventh beckons chakra, and plants his feet in the somatic division of the sea as the navel area and the land where the genitals are. The two lowest divisions, roaring as the lion he is in his solar power. When he speaks, the voices of the seven thunders are the mystery teachings of a illuminate directly given by the divine experience, related by the seven vows in association with the illuminate seven chakras. Verse 3, continuation of verse 3. When he shouted, the voices of the seven thunders spoke. Verse 4, and when the seven thunders spoke, I was about to write, but I heard a voice from heaven say, seal up what the seven thunders have said and do not write it down. Then the angel I had verse 5, then the angel I had seen standing on the sea and on the land raised his right hand to heaven. Verse 6, and he swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created the heavens and all that is in them, the earth and all that is in them, and the sea and all that is in it, and said, there will be no more delay. When the seven thunders smoke, this is his commentary, the seven vows in association with divine insight. The illuminate is divinely activated. The mystery teaching that is hidden, do not write it down, may refer to the technique of opening the eye of wisdom by unifying dual opposites in a thought experiment while in the sacred trance. The angel of spirit and energy, recognizing God as his Father and the reason for all three aspects of reality. God, brackets here, God created the heavens and the earth, raised his hand to heaven, his right hand to override the physical centers with no more delay. Verse 7, but in the days when the seventh angel is about to sound his trumpet, the mystery of God will be accomplished just as he announced to his servants, the prophets. Verse 8, then the voice that I had heard from heaven spoke to me once more, go take the scroll that lies open in the hands of the angel who is standing on the sea and on the land. Verse 9, so I went to the angel and asked him to give me the little scroll. He said to me, take it and eat it. It will turn your stomach sour, but in your mouth it will be as sweet as honey. Verse 10, I took the little scroll from the angel's hand and ate it. It tasted sweet as honey in my mouth, but when I had eaten it, my stomach turned sour. Verse 11, then I was told, you must prophesy again about many people, nations, languages, and kings. So here's his explanation. The Son of God hands John a scroll to eat. Why would he do that? Just as we refigured and rebuilt reality to ourselves after we find the light, so we can use its truth to understand the ancient texts written by those who ascended before us. All we need ask ourselves is, at what stage is John in this point of the drama? He is ascended and is about to return to his body. That is a scroll with writing on both sides. The scroll tastes sweet when he eats it, as the moment of ascension, but sour when he returns to physical life. To prophesy again about many peoples, nations, languages, and kings, referring to those throughout his own body as much as to the world at large. In other words, when he returns to his body, he can tell people about the nature of reality he is now privy to, and help souls become spiritualized. But it will not be easy. Incarnation can be a sour experience after ascension, especially if we are compelled to tell people about the truth we have experienced while ignorance is rife. And what he means by ignorance is rife, meaning it's well spread. people are sin is just simply ignorance, folks. That's what it means. Sin is ignorance, not knowing. It's basically what it means, not knowing. One who comes here, what we call coming here for the few times, such and such, is not going to understand any of this stuff. It's only for those who have been here many, many, many times and have been able to move forward somewhat in their memory and understanding that they move further up. They move closer to ascending, so to speak. And eventually the time comes, they get it somewhat, and they begin to pursue that. And that's part of ascension, you see. But I wanted to put this on the record here simply is to explain to people again, is that I don't know of anyone who has done what Phil has done. Phil has taken time with me. I've asked him questions about a lot of things. He is a good friend. Never, as far as I can tell, never gets frustrated with me, as I don't answer always the right question. I don't always get the answers right, folks. Okay, and yet he is, doesn't, say better than that. So it's a lot to do with his attitude. Simply, it reflects in him that there is something different about him. His attitude, his way he carries himself. He doesn't act like he's somebody, some great guru. He's not about that. He's not in it for the money. That's not what it's about neither. And you have all these gurus out here talking about this, all this stuff. And in reality, they don't know because they never have ascended themselves neither. You see. So they're the blind that leads the blind. And many people follow after these people because they're popular. Popularity seems to be, we have this opportunity that is on the internet to share these things, which would never take place even 30 years ago. So it's a unique situation. But the idea here is for you to understand simply is that those who claim they had ascensions, but yet their lives have nothing's changed in them, means simply is they never had ascension, which they don't even claim ascension, you see, because most of them don't know what they're talking about, you see. So, again, this is a very short chapter, chapter 10. So we'll be getting into chapter 11 here in a few minutes. Again, this is, again, you can download this ebook. It's all there. If you desire to do that, that's your choice. You do have free will on this planet, you see. And it's just a part of progress. It's little by little, gradually, such and such. And God is not God's not going to hit you over the head and destroy you. That is not what God is all about. You see, He's patient. You see, He's patient with you because you're spirit. You come here on what we call a planet that is not basically spiritually aware. And so with that, you have a tough travel. And the other problem is simply you have people who teach certain things that are not true. And yet the majority of people follow it. You see. So thank you for being here. We'll be getting into chapter 11 here in a few moments. Thank you for being here, and hope that some of you have ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart that is willing to seek these things out. Thank you.